The Dragon Ball franchise is one of, if not, the most popular anime and manga in the entire world. Maybe besides One Piece or Pokemon. Z specifically probably being the most popular one and the fan favorite, and I mean, for good reason. It has some great fights and paneling, a great art style, and a story that is really easy and fun to read through. And a while ago, I decided to kind of restart Dragon Ball since I never had the chance to watch or read the original series in its entirety. I own it physically and had a lot of fun reading through it, as someone who mainly grew up with Z and Kai. But these last few years, talking with friends and being on the World Wide Web, I've noticed something. The original series doesn't always get the respect it deserves. On many social media like YouTube or Hell itself, I've seen many newcomers to the franchise asked if the original is okay to skip because they want to see the more iconic, popular Dragon Ball Z. And I've also seen big fans of the franchise say similar things, like how the original is boring or not essential. Dragon Ball is okay to skip because it apparently doesn't have anything to do with Z anyway. And personally, these are some unbelievably awful takes. I think if you're going to watch a long show or a franchise, if it has a pretty linear and simple order, you shouldn't skip stuff unless it's something like filler. When you watch JoJo, you should not skip the first two parts. When you watch Star Wars, you should never skip the prequels, even if The Phantom Menace isn't good, and the list goes on. So today, I'd like to give you my reasons on why you should stop skipping Dragon Ball. The characters. Some of Dragon Ball's greatest and coolest main characters were introduced in the original series. Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, Piccolo, just to name a few. And I feel like some of these Dragon Ball skippers are really missing out on not only fun interactions and introductions, but also some little details that may go over your head if you skip right to Z, like Goku being all grown up. It's something we see at the end of the original series, but when starting Z, Goku's first appearance is almost meant to be shocking to the characters and the viewer. This guy, whose journey from child to young adulthood we saw in the original series, was now all matured and even had a son, and he was married to a character he met multiple times in the original series. Or Piccolo being there. Piccolo, son of the Demon King, was a major antagonist near the end of the original because of the fight that happened between Goku and Piccolo's father. Their fight/rivalry kind of thing is genuinely not only one of my personal favorites in the original series, but one of the best in the entire franchise. And things like this is why Piccolo's redemption, or hey, him simply showing up, is even more surprising to see to the characters and viewers.
Oh great! What else could go wrong today?
I suppose you could make me angry, but I wouldn't advise it.
To see Piccolo train and basically become family to the boy whose dad killed his dad is all the more enjoyable to watch when you know this context. Or Bulma. She is basically the entire reason Dragon Ball began when she bumped into Goku. Without Bulma, we wouldn't know the history of the Dragon Balls or Shenron or any of the characters we ended up finding throughout the series. Also, Tails. This one isn't a big deal, but I feel like I have to mention it. Goku has and loses a tail in the original series. When we find out that Goku is an alien in Z, it is only referenced by Raditz and probably a few other characters. It's much more fun to witness this little plot twist when you've already seen the entire journey of when Goku had this tail, back when it was only really used for comedic purposes and inspiration from the Chinese legend Journey to the West. It also explains why Gohan has a tail at the start. It's like, oh, this thing that was only used for a joke is now a part of something bigger. The Red Ribbon Army is something you may have heard about if you've watched this series. For people who have only seen Z, the Android saga revolves around characters like Dr. Gero, who are part of this organization, and it's even referenced that they were a thing in the past, which is how they were able to gain intel on the Z fighters and stuff. But you don't really know them if all you've seen is Z. The Red Ribbon Army is an organization that Goku and the gang run into frequently in the original series, with characters like General Blue, the Samurai Guy, or that entire part of the story where Goku befriends Android 8 in that snowy village. The only reason the Red Ribbon Army was defeated is because of what Goku did in the first series, so seeing their return in Z is kind of a huge deal. To know that a surviving member of this evil group went into hiding and created the main antagonists of an entire arc for Z is huge and so fun to witness when you know their history from the beginning. Also, because they came back again in the latest movies, you know, they're a little important. But my final reason on why people need to stop skipping Dragon Ball, it's just really good. That's it. Seeing as Toriyama, rest in peace, started off as a comedy manga writer, I think it really shines in Dragon Ball. Not to say Z isn't funny, I think it is, and it has some of my favorite funny moments. It's just the original focuses way more on it, especially at the start, and it is filled with hilarious gags and jokes.
He just ate 57 full-course meals.
Really? I lost track around 40!
Can I have another bowl, please?
For the most part, not all of it is good. And like I mentioned before, it also has some of the best, most finest moments in the entire franchise in my opinion. Dragon Ball's action, for example, focused much more on martial arts, with hints of magic. There were still some, energy blasts and flying here and there, but it definitely wasn't as prevalent compared to Z or even Super. Some of my favorites being Goku vs. Piccolo, both Piccolos really. Again, it isn't for everyone, and most people prefer Z, probably including myself. But starting the story of Dragon Ball Z is so much more enjoyable when reading the original first. Seeing all of that development from the original series carry on into the sequel is so worth it, whether some people think it's a big deal or not. To me, it is. Introductions and interactions, whether big or small, that matters to me, and it might to you. So, if you want to watch or read this franchise, you need to stop skipping Dragon Ball. Also, to those who have been subscribed for a bit, yes, this is a remake of a video I made years ago and deleted. You are not imagining things. Thank you for watching, and thank you for the insane support as of recent, and yeah, that's it. Goodbye.
It ain't hard to tell, I excel, then prevail. The rank is contacted, I attract clientele. My mic check is life or death, breathing a sniper's breath. I exhale the yellow smoke of Buddha through righteous steps. Deep like the shining, sparkle like a diamond. Sneaker Uzi on the island, and my army jacket lining hit the earth like a comet invasion. Nazis like the Afro-Centric Asian, half man, half amazing. Cause in my physical I can express through song, delete stress like Motrin, then extend